A first look at the man authorities say was behind the wheel of this van during a violent hit-and-run crash Thursday in Florida. 24-year-old Zachary Brock now under arrest, facing multiple charges. 19-year-old Jackson Kelly still hospitalized in critical condition, suffering brain trauma and other serious injuries when his car flipped 4 times before slamming into a concrete wall, shocking hotel guests as several people raced to help the driver. Officers first impounding that van late Friday, then Saturday evening announcing they had taken Brock into custody. Brock now facing several felony charges. Jackson's family says he's steadily improving, and doctors are cautiously optimistic about his progress.
The outpouring from the communities, that's the joy. The pain is looking at my child. He can't say dad, he can't open his eyes. You're helpless as a parent. That's absolutely the worst feeling in the world.
This is Beauregard, Alabama. You can certainly hear the sound of fire alarms. This is a house that's directly behind me that was moved off of its foundation. It is very clear that what hit this area was large. Massive is definitely the right word for what happened here. You can see that the treetops are torn off for some ways. 23 people we're told were killed in this small town. We're told that that number should not probably rise because they have done most of their search and rescues.
I was sitting there praying, asking the Lord to protect everybody. I was just praying. So I grabbed my dog and went and got in the closet. And a few minutes later, that's when I could hear all the wind and the house moving.
We're told that the deaths were spread across much of this town, not in one particular area. On the way here, we saw bits and pieces of damage along the way in different communities.
And heavy wind and everything. And we ran inside, and after that, there was just a lot of debris flying, and we just watched out the window.
The power company is out now restoring the power, but again, the loss of life in this one town is heartbreaking. Adding insult to injury, it's now freezing cold, so families are now sifting through what's left of their lives in the cold.
Absolute chaos after police say a car crashed into a group of cyclists, killing 2 people and injuring several others. Terrified witnesses trying to save victims' lives while first responders rushed to the scene. The crash just a few blocks away from parades celebrating Mardi Gras. Police arrested a 32-year-old, his name Tashanti Tony. Police tweeting, it is believed Tony was impaired at the time of the incident.
We were able to apprehend the subject so quickly because, again, the citizens stopped this individual because they thought they was helping someone who had just been involved in a one-car accident.
Police say the driver tried to run from the scene after the crash, but they were able to catch up to him and arrest him. He now faces several charges.
Here in Selma, hundreds of people did what civil rights demonstrators couldn't do more than 50 years ago. They marched across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. Leading the pack, former presidential nominee Hillary Clinton and current presidential candidate Senator Cory Booker. And behind them were hundreds of people that were commemorating Bloody Sunday. Also leading the march were the original foot soldiers, those who were here more than 50 years ago that marched across this bridge and were met with tear gas and violence.
I can still smell the tear gas. I can still hear the beatings that we took that day. It's always bring back memories. We are slipping back with our current president. If things continue like that, we have to go back marching and sitting in again.
We're at the Museum of the Dog under the offices of the American Kennel Club. The collection boasts portraits of royal and presidential pets, as well as historical artifacts.
We have a library here, which has a few thousand volumes of journal books on each breed. In addition to it, we have an interactive breeder story, which tells you all about modern dog breeding. After several years of handling dog paintings, I started to look at dogs differently, because you started seeing what a really good observer and a really good artist would key on, and you start to see that in the dog through his vision.
Travel with us and get the news you need right now.